What is good, everyone, and welcome back to the Moving Picture Massacre. I am Matt, and I'm starting things off tonight. We're going to do another fun video like we did a couple weeks ago, where we pick a movie in our collection and we tell you about it in hopes that you'll go out and you'll watch it, and then you'll get back to us and tell us how awesome these movies are. But anyways, I have a new pickup. This is a movie I've seen tons of times in my lifetime, but I've never owned this on VHS. I've got it on other formats, but not VHS, until this week, and I was able to pick up Shocker.
Shocker.
This is a Wes Craven movie. It stars people like Mitch Pileggi, Peter Berg, Ted Raimi, Heather Langenkamp, and like I was saying, it is a Wes Craven movie. You can see it right up here. But this is rated R. It's an hour and 51 minutes long, and it came out in 1989. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you the back here as well, if you could see that. But this is a fun movie. So I want to start things off by saying the soundtrack to this movie is phenomenal. If you have the opportunity or the means of being able to listen to this, I suggest doing so. You won't be disappointed. But anyways, this movie came out in 1989. And you'll see a lot of similarities in this movie like you would Nightmare on Elm Street. There's a lot of dream stuff going on in it between Horace Pinker, who is Mitch Pileggi's character, and Jonathan Parker, who is Peter Berg's character. Horace Pinker is a serial killer in this. He is a slasher, but in this movie you also get this possession type factor going on.
Come on! Give it to me! You got it, baby.
And Jonathan Parker is our hero in this movie. But anyways, this movie's weird in the sense that it starts off, there's probably 45 minutes of Horace Pinker killing people in this movie before he's apprehended and thrown in prison. So this one, it starts to get weird. Horace Pinker does some voodoo stuff in this movie, and he's able to transcend when he gets the electric chair. You can see on the cover there, that's where it comes from. So at that point, he becomes this kind of electrical anomaly. And it's really, really odd, and he's able to start possessing people in this movie. So you have a normal slasher movie, and then, halfway through, a quarter of the way through, you start getting this possession movie where he is now jumping from body to body, kids, women, men, it doesn't matter. He's hopping into these bodies and limping around and just continuing to kill people in this movie.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
And then Jonathan Parker, basically, throughout this movie, is trying to stop Horace Pinker. And you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff in this. There's going to be ghosts pop up. Heather Langenkamp has a part in it that you probably will not recognize her. She's just basically a hostage. Ted Raimi has a decent part as a friend of Jonathan Parker in this movie. And that's really about it. There's some other notable people that you'll see along the way in this movie, but those are the ones I really just want to talk about. But this movie is definitely one I suggest for this time of year. It's October. Everyone's watching scary movies. This one is not going to disappoint you, I don't think. It shouldn't disappoint most people anyways, but this will be a hit at all your parties. But anyways, I don't have a lot more to say without spoiling this movie completely for everyone. But anyways, I'm going to flip it over to Tom, and he's going to take it from here with his pick.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, guys. How's it going? I had a friend recently donate a good amount of tapes over to me, and there's some really cool stuff. Some Mouse and the Motorcycle there is one of my favorites growing up. Here's another stack. Some really cool stuff that I'm really excited to dive into. But one tape that I had never seen before, I had never even heard of before, was Duel. Duel is a Steven Spielberg movie, a very early one, 1971. Again, I'd never heard of this movie at all, so just looking at it with this semi truck and the guy, wasn't really sure exactly what was going to happen. So I watched the trailer, and the trailer is fantastic. I'm going to play the entire thing because it's a minute long. I'm going to play it directly after this. But the entire plot of this movie is this business guy right here decides to pass a slow moving semi truck on the freeway, and that semi truck gets pissed off. So the entire hour and a half or so long movie is that semi truck just trying to fucking kill that guy. Because he's mad because he passed him one time. He didn't pass him aggressively, nothing, just passive aggressive. But right around him, nice and slow, blah blah blah. Then it took an entire movie for him to try and kill this businessman here. So if you have a moment to watch the most aggressive amount of road rage you've ever seen, check out Duel. There's a lot of cool parts. You never see the truck driver, and the only thing that you do see is his boots. And so when the businessman decides to go get something to eat, he notices the truck driver's truck outside, starts freaking out, looking at every guy's boots that are in the place, starts talking to himself, big old monologues, and just freaks himself out and ends up fighting a random guy that had nothing to do with anything. There's some really cool car action, obviously, for something like this, so you guys should check it out. And I think we're going to have Ricky wrap up this video for us because he just went... Thanks for joining in, guys.
Okay. You want to play games? Get back in the bus, please. Please, come on. Come on, back in the bus. Hey, stop!
Thanks, Tom. Good stuff as always. Ricky here, and I'm going to close out this installment of Moving Picture Massacre. For my movie choice of the week, I decided to go with a comedy/musical. If you know me, you already know where I'm going with this. But it is Cannibal the Musical. Cannibal the Musical is Trey Parker's directorial debut. Matt and Trey actually did this movie while they were still in college, so this is way before anything even relevant to South Park. This was the first thing that they did. Under the acting credits, Trey actually goes by Juan Schwartz, which you'll understand why that's important here in just a second. But Cannibal the Musical is very, very, very loosely based on the true story of Alfred Packer. Alfred Packer was part of a mining crew that was trying to get from Utah over to Breckenridge, Colorado during the gold rush to try to strike it rich like everyone else was in that era. But they get stranded in the snow and had to eat each other to stay alive. And Alfred was the only survivor of the crew. But one of Alfred's aliases was John Schwartz. So, that's where the Juan Schwartz tie-in comes from. But all in all, this movie is absolutely ridiculous, as you would expect any trauma to be. I mean, when you combine a Matt and Trey written movie and it's distributed by Troma, you know it's going to be insane. But there's a lot of, I say great, but you just got to understand the context that I mean great. Spadoinkle, it's awesome. Spadoinkle's a great song.
Sky is blue and all the leaves are green. My heart's as full as a baked potato. I think I know precisely what I mean when I say it's a spadoinkle day.
You got the Snowman song, which is very entertaining.
So let's build a snowman. We can make him our best friend. We can name him Tom. We can name him George. We can make him tall. Or we can make him not so tall. Snowman.
As far as the music goes, I mean, Trey's a pretty good singer, but everyone else is pretty terrible.
Rip their fur, cut their eyes out with my knife.
Oh, stop.
So it's just entertainment value, just from a comedic standpoint. That's about it. But there's a lot of great blood and gore throughout the movie. For example, the opening scene when Alfred rips off one of the guy's arms and starts beating the other people with it. It's pretty fantastic. The Cyclops, when he comes in, that's pretty disgusting.
You looking in my eye? Are you looking in my eye? No.
The climax of the movie, he puts the meat cleaver through the guy's face. That's pretty great.
You're not telling anybody anything ever again! Yeah.
There's some great comedic scenes that just, I mean, they're hilarious. A couple of my favorites when Lucky Larry, who's originally supposed to be their guide from Utah over to Colorado, when he's struck by lightning, and they're kind of carrying him off on the makeshift stretcher, and Trey sees him, and is he gonna be okay?
My goodness, what is that? Oh, that's Lucky Larry. He was struck by lightning last night. Gosh, is he gonna be okay? What?
I mean, he's clearly dead. But that's a good one. Whenever they walk into the general store when they're trying to get all the supplies and everything that they need for the journey, every member of the crew has to say howdy when they enter the door, and the general storekeeper has to reply to each of them. It's so long and drawn out, it's ridiculous.
Howdy. Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy do.
Howdy. Howdy. Howdy do.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy do.
Howdy.
Anytime the trappers come around and Matt has to comment on their hat, nice hat.
Trapper horse ain't supposed to be no digger.
Nice hat.
Probably my favorite comedic moment in the movie is when they're cooking around the campfire. You son of a bitch, Humphrey. Yeah.
You son of a bitch, Humphrey.
Oh, come on. You haven't even tried it yet.
You son of a bitch, Humphrey.
That's probably my favorite. Walking through a field to get to a river, Matt just mentions, hey, watch out for that bear trap, and nobody saw it.
Watch out for that bear trap.
What?
When he asks how deep do you think the river is, and Trey just kind of tosses a rock in there. That's pretty great.
How deep do you think it is?
Well, what the hell was that supposed to prove?
The Indians are clearly Japanese people.
We are from Utah. Utah.
Ah, Utah. Ah.
Could you tell me what tribe this is?
We are Indians.
Yes, I see that, but what Indians?
You don't think we are Indians?
No, I just,
We have peepees.
Of course, one more gore scene at the very end of the movie, the decapitation of the trapper. It's pretty entertaining.
You are bad person. Yeah.
Pretty much anything I recommend during these little solo campaigns, it's gonna be absolutely insane. It's not gonna be great cinema, but you will be entertained. So, all in all, Cannibal the Musical, so worth the watch. Just for the laughs, it's incredible. I love it. I've probably seen this movie 50 times. It's just as good every time. But, anyways, I want to thank all of you for watching. If you've made it this far, thank you. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying all the content. We will be back with the entire trio at some point very soon. We've got a couple of movies lined up that we're going to throw some reviews on. We are all three going to praise these movies. We are all three going to shit on these movies. We are all three just going to figure out what some of these movies are. But yeah, thanks for checking us out. Do yourself a favor, go watch all three of these movies that we've mentioned. If you've seen them before, awesome. Watch them again. If you haven't seen them and you just want to be entertained, check them out. What's the worst that could happen? Thanks again, guys, and we will be back very soon. Till next time.